When I go to a casino to review it, as I have done many times for you, I used to try to do many things. I'd test my five spin method at this new to me casino, examine the floor layout for slot machines at highly visible locations, eat at a restaurant. I don't know why you'd want a review of the restaurant from me. But I was doing that. If I could, I'd stay at their hotel, talk to other slots players about whatever, and congratulate them if they had a win. Try to find easier way to sort of like chat and be friendly, maybe to the person sitting next to me. Certainly, try to talk to as many casino employees as possible. Hey, can I lock this machine? Do you have this other machine somewhere in the casino? Could you look it up? What are your promotions at the promotions counter? I was and a few other things depending on the particular casino. And rarely did I get a fraction of this done. If I hurried, none of it got done well. If I did several, it was exhausting. Is that how it is for you? Are you trying to do too much at your casino? Let me know your thoughts in the comments or live chat. And of course, I'll be taking your questions because this is a live stream. I'm only saying that because, of course, the people who are live here now know it's a live stream, but you might be watching this after the fact. Hello to you watching this recording. Thank you for being here, and be sure to subscribe for notifications so you can have your questions answered the next time I do one of these. But either way, stick around, and I'm sure it'll be of value to you, even if you are watching this after the fact. But those of you who are here live, thank you so much. If you have a question, please use hashtag question. It's a banner across the bottom of the screen, if you can read it on a small phone. That's so I can be sure to spot your questions to me instead of comments in the live chat to each other. After all, this is also a community video where we all know each other, and friends check in with how things have been going lately, and there's a lot of back and forth conversation because of that. But if you're new, welcome. If you're new from TikTok, great, you found your way here. So many of you have taken an interest there. If you're on Instagram, I started up Instagram after being off of it for like 3 years. Some of the older videos are just like, oh my goodness, did I even not know what color correction was? Maybe the brightness level. And that I'm seeing if that's going to be a way for me to communicate with new people. Any case, earlier this year, I was at and hello, Camilla. Hello, Irving. Hey, even Irving, good to see you. And at least tight slot capital of Illinois. Okay. I've seen the player returns for the video gaming machines run by the state lottery in bars and taverns, and wow. So, are you okay? I'm so sorry. Earlier this year, I was at Firekeepers, a tribal casino in Southwest Michigan. Yes, there is a button here. Please hit the like. That will help draw people in and encourage YouTube to make this available for more people in the next hour or two, however long we go. Answering your questions. But earlier this year, I was at Firekeepers. That's a tribal casino in Southwest Michigan. It was supposed to be another casino trip review, but I messed it up. I was on my way to a family wedding the next day in Michigan, had plenty of time, so I decided to leave a day early and stop by Firekeepers on the way. When I arrived, I did everything. I tested a few of my strategies. I enjoyed myself personally and a few more, incidentally blowing my budget on personal play. I ate after my long drive up from Southwest Ohio, where I saw a couple of accidents happen along the way. No need to get into that, and it's just still in my mind's eye. And talked with all kinds of people, including getting into a weird conversation over by the ATM machines, the voucher payout machines, where some tipsy guy pointed at my voucher and said, "What's that?" And I was like, "It's a voucher." "Oh, is that money?" If it is, I'd sure love to have some, and made a grab for it. I mean, I'm just like, get off. and did I mention it was a busy Friday night when I usually go at noon on Sundays for these casino trip reviews? And it was just pouring down rain, which was fun to drive through on back roads away from the expressway. So, I'm just trying to express all the things that were going on. I failed at that casino trip review. I tried to do too much, or maybe too much was done to me. I was able to salvage a single topic into a post: Friday casino observations to help you win at slots. Here it is. There is also a video. It looks like this: casino observations on a Friday evening, that's what it's called. And I don't have a podcast episode to share with you on this one. I try to have the written word, the video link, embedded video from YouTube, and a podcast available to listen to it on each of these website articles. Just trying to do, and I post to Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. Wait, am I trying to do too much? Oh, this topic is relevant. So that's what I wanted to show you there. And so you can just find it if you search on my website or search on my YouTube channel for casino observations on a Friday evening, or just Friday. So I made that because I had picked one single thing that happened during that overwhelming visit. I captured a conversation with 2 casino employees at the promotions counter, where I spoke with them about my hearing about a hand pay jackpot. Not seeing it, but only hearing somebody who just came from it, and they just won a jackpot. They hand pay over where I couldn't see it. And that was the only hand pay that happened during my 90-minute visit. I saved I saved my trip barely by the skin of my teeth. I successfully got something out of that trip for you, which, if I hadn't, would have been a completely wasted trip. But it wasn't. It was perhaps my most valuable trip yet. Based on that visit, not necessarily to me, for some of you, based on that visit, my Michigan fan Jason, who may be here, learned what I saw in terms of winning machines. We had conversations, and I knew that was his casino, and didn't tell him in advance I was going to be there. Otherwise, he would have. I just wanted to. Anyway, all the usual things that go into a casino trip. I'm not there to get a crowd. I'm there to help anybody who goes to that casino later. So I try to go in under the radar, not wearing my Professor Slots shirt or anything like that. So I told him what I had seen, and maybe it was a live stream, maybe it was a chat that I offer, free chats that I offer. But when I told him that, but he told his fellow slots enthusiasts at Firekeepers, some of his friends, that's his local casino, and they then won a $19,902.90 hand pay on the machine I recommended. This is that hand pay. Jason was kind enough to send the image, a picture of it. So let me zoom in for you. It's a cash burst. And I know some of you are on a phone, so it's a little hard to see the image. So I'll zoom in as much as possible. $19,902.90 for this machine. This one on this machine. It was a highly visible machine in an intersection, et cetera, and et cetera. If you follow my topics, you know what I'm talking about, the strategy that I'm talking about. But the winner, it's not the end of the story. The winner, because Jason had said, what I told him, told his friend, and the winner gave Jason a big tip, a couple $100. And Jason then gave me a $100 tip in one of my live streams, my share of his tip, he said. So I made my trip worthwhile to Jason and his friend because I was focused. I I became focused. I was able to be focused before I was out of there. It was at the last minute after trying to do far too much in one casino visit, but helping helping you was successfully accomplished. Are you trying to do too much at a casino? Do you perhaps try testing for my five spin method? Sit down at a machine, win big on the second spin, and immediately abandon the five spin method, then spend all your winnings that you won trying to win again. And when you spend it all, as so many of us do, you think, wait, I I was doing something. What was the reason why I won all that money? What was it? And then squirrel, off you go again. Off we go again. So it's actually a squirrel over there. Don't tell Isaac. Of course, I'm talking about having a plan, and it isn't exactly wrong to pause the five spin method after a big win to check if that machine is a winning machine. But that's not what I just explained, is it? Continuing to play to determine if a machine is a consistent winner is a plan. Blowing your winnings because you're playing with the casino's money or because you're emotionally overwhelmed by your victory isn't a plan. It's the casino's plan for you, certainly, but it wasn't your plan for you. And I'm not talking about never changing your plan. Sorry, double negative. I'm talking about having a plan, then changing your plan if you think it's best. Not because the casino has manipulated you into spending your sudden riches. We've all been there. Loss limits and preserving gains are two of my 11 bankroll management techniques I teach in my online course, 30 Days to Play Slots Smarter and Win, at professorslots.com/30 days. But let's talk about focus. When visiting a casino, pardon me, I need to get a drink here. I found out that Isaac, when he was shedding before, he wasn't shedding before. Now he's shedding. So I'm maybe like wiping fur off my face. Right. Okay. Tickles. But let's talk about focus. When visiting a casino, what is your center of interest or activity? Food? Friends? Comps? Playing? Winning? Any of these are perfectly fine, but pick one. At the very least, pick one at a time. I played enough slot machines with sticky buttons from 10 players ago when somebody spilled their drink when their elbow was nudged. Trying to drink and play at the same time on their phone. I tried to have that in the picture on the thumbnail, they call it, where I was like on my phone drinking a drink, listening to my headphones. They didn't really show up very well, and just while doing something else. What are focus? What are you paying particular attention to? What are you concentrating on? Are you focused on learning if my five spin method works at your casino? Then do that. Once you do it a few times, you'll learn it well. Yes, I understand your mind is blown when it works when others tell you it can't possibly, that it must not work because it would be illegal. And well, I'm here to tell you anything can be done in an illegal way. Just because you don't know the legal way to do it doesn't mean it's you can drive down the road in a car illegally. Just switch to the left lane on a 2-lane road, right? To those listening to me on a future podcast episode, don't do that. Please don't do that. Eyes on the road. John, Brian, and any others listening to my podcast, eyes on the road. In any case, get over being able to win at slots now, because now you've got bigger problems. Abruptly losing focus immediately after winning is exactly the reason so many slots enthusiasts are unable to leave with their winnings. Focusing is the trick to winning at slots. Using my techniques or your own combined with mine or just your own, and focus. What's the plan? Get a cashier's check for the full amount? Half for the amount you brought to the casino? Focus on your plan to win. Stick with it if it is working. Win then focus even harder on your plan for what you'll do with your winnings. What's your plan? Or I should say plans. And if you need help figuring that out, let me know. I offer a free 15-minute chat and paid consultations. Just email me at john@professorslots.com and I'll be happy to send you those links. So let's see if we have some questions today. How this works is type into the live chat #question with your question, and I'll take a look at it and review it and answer it. And those of you who have been here before, that you know how it works, I will answer questions for the next 45 minutes, 45 minutes. I can only talk for like 2 hours before my voice gives out. So we'll see what the questions are. One time there wasn't so many. I guess it's a beautiful day out or something. And I'm trying to be more consistent about my Tuesday at 7 p.m., Thursday at 3 p.m., Saturday at noon. I think this is my 141st, something like that, live stream. But most of them have been on Saturdays, which I've been pretty consistent about. I'm trying to be more consistent. And also I got a bunch of articles coming out for you. And that's something else I'm working on besides blowing up on TikTok and seeing what happens on Instagram. That was yesterday. Wow. And so let's see what questions you have. And a couple of them. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Yeah, Lisa, I hear you. #question from Railfan. Do you have a method for online slots? Yes, I do. If so, explain it quickly. Also, can you explain the location strategy quickly, please? I'm a subscriber. So the online slots, it's something called Bank the Bonus. I think that's pretty descriptive. You can also search I have a video on it on YouTube, and you can just search for Bank the Bonus. Or you can search within my channel. Either way, you should be able to find it. If you're searching within my videos in my channel, then you can just type online slots. That's in the title as well, and you should be able to find it pretty easily. And that's a 4-minute description. Bank the Bonus. And as far as the location strategy is the basic idea is casinos have the ability in most states, not every state. It depends on the theoretical payout limits. There's a bunch. I have the exact numbers rolling around in my head. Something like 29 states have a minimum and a minimum limit. Fewer have a maximum limit, and that is a setting that they can't exceed. So, like Pennsylvania has 100% as being the limit. They can't make it more often than that. And you might say, but no casino would set it more often than that. Well, they certainly wouldn't set it on all their machines, because then they wouldn't make money. But what they do is they find a prominently displayed machine, or maybe just make the casino floor have such a kind of central location, main intersection, over by the cafe, all these different locations. And this is how you can find the up to 3 winning machines in a casino. Now at Soaring Eagle, it's the visible machine at the end of every row, but other casinos will be like the one by the escalator, or the main entrance to the restaurant or something like that. What you're looking for is, you walk up to a machine, you turn your back to it, and you look. And if a bunch of people are looking back at you from where they're sitting on their machines, then that becomes a candidate. And some machines are more highly visible than others. And casinos they have a budget for this, where they set that machine to win, and it doesn't take much to win. And then everybody gets to see that, and everybody gets excited, and everybody runs and plays the machine next to it. So you can have a row of identical machine, Lightning Link or whatever, and the one on the end, or the one that's most viewable from a distance, is the one set to win, but the others, which look identical, are set to other limits. And so the casinos, what the casino is trying to do is set that machine to win, and then they lose money in that machine, but they make money on the 50 other machines in the area where the people got excited about. That was a big win. I'm going to go play. They're hitting now, and maybe they are, maybe they aren't. So this is a manipulation method, and it works great. I haven't found a casino yet, that doesn't do it. There was Delta Downs in Louisiana that didn't do it, but I hear they, I was shocked. It was just like, wow, you got a tree in front of the high limit room. You can't even look into the high limit room. What are you even doing here? No machines on the end of rows at all. I mean, there was a machine on the end of the row, but it wasn't on the cap. It wasn't capping the row. And I was just like, what is this? And they revised their whole casino layout. I think they did that in like April. And so I'm kind of interested in Louisiana, going to Louisiana. And, I love it when casinos attempt these manipulations because it's so obvious and you just manipulate them right back. The ones that are fair is just like, ask Elisa how Illinois slots are doing. Those are strictly fair. They're not fun if they're fair. So that's your two answers for you. I hope that helps. Yes, Irving. Yes. Irving is asking about gas stations where there are slots. These are just amazing. There's nobody's talking about it. It is an explosion of everywhere in every state. I'm getting calls from businesses saying, how do I do this? How do I get 5 machines at my gas station so I can make $75,000 a month at $500 each, 30 days, times 5, because there's 5 machines. Did I get that number right? A lot of things going on which I'm watching. So $518 times 30.4, which is the average number of days, that's 15,000 times 5. $78,736. That is after 90% of the winnings are returned to the player. That's the number. It's documented in various states. It fluctuates around that amount. So, are you selling $57,000 in gas, alcohol, or just the slot machines? Imagine if you're open an extra hour, and so it's so profitable. I got a call today. Somebody called the number on my website, and I picked up, hello, and we talked about where in Wisconsin there are legal gaming machines. It's only legal if it's 5 or less machines in bars and taverns. You have to have an alcohol license and you have to pay a fee. But a lot of states are making these things legal because they realize that it's income and they want their share of taxes. They want their income taxes paid to the state. Tennessee has a lot of these in truck stops. And that's totally illegal. But because law enforcement, there's no gaming regulation saying what is and is not legal, because all gaming is prohibited, but then the state laws aren't in place to say, and what's the penalty? And what it's the state police force enforcing it, when you deny it even exists. And so there's loopholes that take place. And Tennessee, it's just, wow. I get contacted by the owners. I get contacted by people who want to become owners. I get contacted by players who are like, I had a mistake. And I don't think that the cashier was honest. And, all this stuff is happening. And we're like, in Tennessee, there's no protections. You get what you get. Yeah. So yes, gas stations are having some slots, and if you go to my website, professorslots.com / and then you put in your 2-letter postal designation, I try to talk about what's legal in terms of these at gas stations. In Oklahoma, it's called a gasino, but I can't talk about it in states. I don't mean I can't. I mean it's impossible for me to talk about what's going on in states when it's illegal because they're not online. They're just quietly doing it so nobody knows. and but you drive in and then you stay for a couple hours. Well, more than just getting gas. Truck drivers just love that, and something to do while on the road, back and forth across the country. Stop in Tennessee at one of those huge truck stops, and open 24 hours. There's always a line. Play the machines. And so that's something that we're seeing a lot of, and just kind of, it's kind of a, what's going to happen with that. I'm curious as to how upset people are going to get. When a lot of states are beginning to offer online slots, and then not mine yet, but then on sports betting, which is different. And so people are like, there's the free games, and then there's the games that you get paid back, and then there's the real money gambling, and then there's kind of like something in the middle, which is based on sweepstakes gaming regulations. It's not really under slot machines. I don't mean to go on about this, but I'm just fascinated by this whole developing situation nobody's talking about, and I have plans to talk about it a little deeper at a later time. So yeah, but if there is, when you have 5 machines, none of them are particularly more visible than the others, and so these strategies don't work at those places, because this is it's more of it's a casino thing, where you have intersections and you have all this planned out. It involves some additional equipment that convenience stores, gas stations don't get, and that's how all this works. Yeah. And Jan is here. Jan is my moderator. Don't press her. That's what the little wrench next to her name means. Cheryl, I just love the name Potawatomi. I'm from Michigan, so my family lives on Tittabawassee Road, and it's just rolls off the tongue. Potawatomi. Gets busy with jackpots after 12:30 p.m. on Friday, at least last week. Yeah, right. Yeah, watch for these things. There's some stuff going on. I have a meeting tonight with my membership, my Slots IQ membership, and I plan on talking about something we talked about last week, and I want to talk more about it, about this whole vendors that are out there offering solutions to casino operators about setting up this timing. So there is ways to make this work, all perfectly legal. What gambling regulations does a slot tournament fall under? It's not slot machines. I mean, you're playing a slot machine, but it's part of the sweepstakes thing, which is different in every state. I remember very clearly a couple of years ago, my internet lawyer, told me about, you're going to be online, you're going to be doing your websites and YouTube and all these other things. Don't hold a raffle. I'm like, what? I can't hold a raffle? He says, no, you can't hold a raffle. And I'm like, why? Even though I was beginning to figure out from state gaming regulations, it made sense what his answer was, which was the legal requirements for a raffle are in Ohio, which is the state I am broadcasting from, are different from the state that you're in, and they don't match. So I can't hold a raffle because it crosses the state line. So all these different all these competitors, other slots channels, other YouTube channels that offer raffles are just like, in the US, you might have 49 other states charge you, criminal offense on your raffle because you you did it the way your state wants it to be done, but not somebody else's. I remember, well, just a short story. My at work, before I was laid off as an aerospace engineer 2 years ago. Right, 2 years ago, yeah, two years ago, and less than a month, in a couple of weeks, um, uh, and nearly 2 years ago in 1 month. But who's counting? Anyway, the email went out to on the company email with the company letterhead saying the March Madness, the March brackets for the upcoming basketball games and who's going to win. It's all set up, and like 3 minutes later, I looked at that and I was like, because I'd been talked to by my lawyer and by reading all these state regulations, and I'm like, that went out to the entire organization, and even in our own group, we have somebody in South Carolina, Kentucky, and Ohio, and that's three different states. And 3 minutes later, the legal department at this major corporation that I was working at was like, no, 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 no. And I'm like, but I got the email and it's got the company letterhead on it. Yeah, they couldn't get out of that fast enough. And this is the stuff that people just don't know. Yeah. So Open Eyes 3 says, questions. Would you consider a good amount of hand pays being paid in the casino before you decide it's a good time to play? 5, 10. What I watch for is there is the difference. Okay. If it goes from none to 5 that you can see, that's meaningful. That means something has happened. Now, you can't see, well, I will say you cannot see past your whatever is visible to you. Now, you could be at a casino which announces it. So what you're looking for is an abrupt change. Now, is it an abrupt change if it goes from 0 to 5 or 0 to 10? It's more like kind of steady. When I was in the Friday observations, I saw in 90 minutes, I didn't see. I knew of one because they just came from it, and that one in 90 minutes, and the whole conversation was with the promotion counter casino employees. I told them who I was, just trying that out occasionally on my way out, and they said, well, in a couple of hours, there'll be hundreds. And I'm like, the casino's full. It's not like there's more people. And they're talking about, hundreds throughout the casino, but in your local area, it might be 10, in your little carousel that you can see the machines next to the carousel. What you're looking for is that abrupt change, not just from 0 to some number. And 10's fine, 5's fine, because that's pretty huge anyway. Just 1 is kind of like could have been lightning. But also when they stop, then you become very conservative approach. Thank you, Chuck. Chuck is also here. He's a moderator, and thank you for your work. Yeah, so 5 or 10. But basically, from 0. Lisa says, questions. Have you observed whether holidays such as Thanksgiving or Christmas are good days to gamble? Have you observed and are good days to gamble? I went on New Year's Eve last year and had my best casino day ever. That's one of the things I'm discussing with my Slots IQ community tonight is these timed jackpots based on raffles. And which nobody in the casino recognizes raffles because they just anyway, don't want to give too much, no spoiler alerts here, but the point is that like they can be good times to win because it gets everybody excited. Have you ever been to a a slot pool, right? I was at a slot pool with all of the podcasters, all the recreational gambling podcasters that you might think of. They were all there. This is 2018. It was at Foxwoods. Eric Rosenthal had us all sign a contract, and they were all standing around, and they had $100 entries. I had put in 2 entries, so I put in $200, and of the $4,500 that they had gotten, they were going to play high limit machines until it was all gone, and there were certain rules. And they looked around. Well, the first part of the story is they looked around and they said, who's going to accept the W2G for hand pay? Because somebody has to do it. And I looked around, and basically there's a lot of table games. I mean, this wasn't a slots podcasters. This was table game podcasters. I was the slots guy. So I went in and I'm just like, hello, I'll do it. And they're like, Professor Slots will do it. And I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't you guys? Oh, table games don't get a lot of hand pays. Well, I'll just add it to my collection. What's one more? And they were like, what? And I'm like, what? Kind of like misunderstanding each other. Anyway, yeah. So, what happened was, the table game players, this is partly a story about table game players, got bored. They got bored. Spend $100, spend $100, spend $100, spend $100, and they're just like looking around, sipping from the drink. When Dr. Mike from You Can Bet on That just took a break and played a machine, won a small amount of money, and on a high limit machine. Okay, I won, and they all just got like terribly bored. And this can happen on Friday night. Terribly bored, but we won a $4,500 hand pay, and then everybody's cheering and everybody's excited, and I'm walking up there and I'm like, they counted out the bills into my palm, right? And then I just basically moved it over to Eric, and he took it out of my palm, and I kind of like went, and they spent that too, and that was the only hand pay. I could have ended up with a whole bunch of them if we had been there. I tried to tell them, is this a good time? It's a dead casino at this time, but we're on schedule for doing this now, so we're going to do it now. I'm like, okay, give them $4,500, win back $4,500, spend that too. But that was the plan. So casinos would love to be able to provide that kind of action to get those people excited. It's a more profitable night for them, and there is a way to win. There you might be that lucky because of methods that I'm not prepared to go into right now. That what's called a time jackpot, and put it during the busiest time. It's all still random, but it's not random number generator. It's a raffle, and they don't have to tell you when they're not using a random number generator and are using raffle laws for your state. There's no need to tell you that. And so you can go on a busy night and you could win a big amount, because then you'll be celebrated and passed around, and everybody will spend more money, and maybe you will spend everything that you might have won, and casinos have a great night, which is better than everybody being bored out of their mind because nobody's winning. Just how casinos work. And yeah. And so if you have a question, use hashtag question. Hi, Hanny from Cyprus. I don't have my conversion. Thank you for your donation. Let me make sure my volume is not too high. I do not know the currency TRY and what $84.99 means. I imagine I saw somebody had in pesos somewhere else in another currency. Yes, cat was $19,000 voucher on my Professor Slots Enthusiast Facebook group, and it was $148. So thank you for that. I will check to see what if anybody else wants to convert that. That would be great. And Hola, Baum, and Grana, Valencia, Spain. Do you speak Spanish, Italian, German, French, and do you play soccer? I don't play sports. And I used to know German. My sister knows Spanish. I tried to learn Italian, but I never got very far. And French has always seemed like a yeah, yes. My cat was actually yes. My cat is down here. Somebody just asked where my cat is. She's right there. Your food bowl might be able to see to the bottom in one small section, right? And so yeah, that's answers your questions. And I guess if you have any specific questions, let me know. There was a whole, well, let's see what else we have. Almost $5. Yes, I knew it. Thank you. Thank you so much for the almost $5 tip in let's see, Cyprus, in Cyprus currency. Thank you so much. That's a lot. Sincerely, thank you. Right. So, and I have a couple of questions of my own that I've been collecting from people. So let's go through some of those. And sale ready. Let me see if I can properly connect to that, put it into the messaging so that everybody can see it. Hopefully that's not too long. Okay, so the question that I just put in here is Sale Ready asks, do casinos know all these tricks, all these strategies? Do all these tricks only give advantage to casinos and not really for those who want to win big? Basically, what's going on is casinos aren't knowledgeable, okay? They have a business to run. They're not a research center. So those that know these things are the slot machine manufacturers, because the slot machine manufacturers aren't just slot machine manufacturers. They're the ones that make the casino operating system, the central server, the software that goes with it. There's vendors also. Yggdrasil is one of those. They were recently partnered with IGT America to do some stuff, and they have some wildly popular products by the casino operators. But and this is all part of a discussion that I'm trying to do an expose, but it takes a while to do the research. But so the casinos aren't really the ones that are knowledgeable. It's the slot machine manufacturers. I call them slot machine manufacturers, so you know who I'm talking about. IGT, Scientific Gaming, Aristocrat, etc. Konami. The primary ones are Scientific Games, and IGT is really the gorilla in the room. And so those are the ones, and they have consultants, and they offer tools, and they give these to casinos, and the casinos just sign the check. And maybe somebody at the casino gets trained in them, but mostly it's just part of the system. Let us know if it has a problem. We have 24-hour support, blah, 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 blah. So they have to convince casinos to pay extra to protect themselves, and which casinos protect themselves from me. And casinos refuse to do that because casinos are cheap. They won't pay for anything they don't have to. Now, if my strategies get really popular, if I, pass Brian Christopher at 540,000 subscribers, if I break the 1 million barrier, Mr. Beast is a YouTube channel. He just, I think he's the largest. He just went over 100 million subscribers. And if I become popular, where everybody's wearing my shirt at the casino. Dressel, you were asking about my cat, but my cat is just like loving the attention from being at my feet. So sorry, maybe she'll jump back onto the chair. So casinos are cheap and they won't really pay any for anything. And if I become popular, then they will want that protection. But until then, they're not going to get it. Where are we at? Think about card counting. Think about that team from MIT who theory of large numbers and how they theory and how they do things. With that, it took 20 years before what we're at infinite shufflers, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then boom, hit it hard, infinite shufflers. Blackjack is like, if you have an infinite shuffler, then it's something that people enjoy doing, but it is also now just incredibly difficult to compared to how it used to be. Yeah. Let's see. I think there is a question coming up, and I have to sort of wait for it to load. In the meantime, there it is. Hanny, the machines here are not as it was before the pandemic. Are they? What's happening in the United States is they're breaking down, and I've seen casinos that you know can't don't have the personnel to repair it, don't have the parts to repair it, leave them out on the casino floor, and it's up to like 10% of them. 10%, like 150 broken machines, including in the high limit room at Indianapolis, Horseshoe Indianapolis. I wonder if those have been fixed or something, because of things are getting a little bit better, but not being able to get chips, not being able to get other things. Was that what you meant by the pandemic affecting the not the same as before the pandemic, as as there was you're talking about a good gain before, but it's almost zero with different bets and different denominations. What do you advise? Yes, we're seeing, I don't mean to say we, in the United States, 40% of the 40% of the states offer monthly return statistics on the performance of their machines, and they provide a player win percent or a casino hold percent. But basically, I try to always use player win percent because I'm here for you, not here for the casinos. And so if I go to my website, and let me see if I can bring that up for you. What did I just do? Oops. Yes. And so if I go to this, I'll show you under reviews. See my mouse? Reviews. And so this is Louisiana Slots Return to Player 2021. That's the first one. Kentucky. I also have trip reviews in here. There's Iowa, Indiana. I wanted to show Illinois. Just to show you just like Lisa's pain that I wanted to share with everybody. They don't do the riverboat casinos, but they do. This is from 2012. This is Bars and Taverns. This is a decade of returns. It is now the lowest that it has ever been. And it's just in this gap right here was the pandemic. This gap was something else, some legal issue, and so they went up just at the end, right there at the pandemic, and then it went down, stayed the same, went down. So the state budget. This is the state lottery at Bars and Taverns with these machines gets that money, and it goes to the state, and I guess they need more money. And so this is the response to the pandemic. We can go back to looking at, I'll just pick one more. Let's see. Go back to Louisiana. Okay. Wow. That was pretty amazing. Uh, and, um, yep, you lost me. Um, so today's theme is about focusing and not trying to do too much. And, what I did was too much. I tried to show too many screens, too many different things, and it all kind of came apart on me. I always thought this would be a situation that I might have someday, and because I crashed the software, I was able to come back into the live stream, and it didn't end. And it's just like the weirdest thing ever. So while I kind of like see if there's other questions that I haven't answered, let me just kind of put this stuff back where I was, and see if I can sort of like um, uh, get back to sharing and seeing what you're talking about. My apologies. This is technically I'm fascinated. Whenever a physicist sees anything happen that's unusual. um, Chuck says, I think the saboteurs have struck again. And um, no, this was me. I tried to load too many things on my computer, and I maybe didn't restart it fast enough. Um, so, and yes, Minka says I drive an hour to get to Shreveport. I thought I noticed payouts improving in the last month or two. That there has been some improvements, yes, in some states. Takes me a little while to go through all um, 20 states that have return statistics, and so yeah, it's pretty amazing. To see, how's it going lately and learning what August is generally like. I know people are going to Las Vegas in October, and in October, there might be, uh, put that away, right? In October, there might be something similar with this October versus last October, but not so much the October before because that was more into the pandemic. And we definitely saw some things going on there. So, question from Open Eyes 3. I have walked into Pachanga a few times, same time day as week, and there are many pan base happening. Is that different than the abrupt change you mentioned? Um, exactly. When you walk into a casino and you see lots of hand pays, or just when you walk into a casino and you listen and you're like, I don't know. Is that busy or is that silent? So you need to go twice and compare. I There might be another day of the week that you could go and you might say, "Wow, this is nothing." Or it might be, "Wow, when I usually go, it's nothing. This is busy." And I don't know. Uh, that's what you need to listen for. Now, sometimes this happens kind of like on the hour, because programmers do that. They think in terms of half hour or hour, and so that's when I'm usually cautious. If I found a good time, I kind of like go slow on top of the hour and on the half hour because my experience has been that's when a switch is made, and I just am careful with my money during the out on the hour and on the half hour, and if it's going well. So these are all things I teach in my course. So the abrupt change, it sounds like, see, Pachanga, Yamava, Hard Rock, Tampa, these are the busiest casinos in the United States. WinStar, it's Foxwoods. There's a certain number of the busiest casinos in the world, and that is something that happens. That is, where you can't tell, because it's a dull roar 24 hours a day. And so most casinos you can hear the difference, but in those casinos you kind of have to look around. When it's just a dull roar the whole time, you look around and you say, okay, is it is are they busy? Are the workers busy? Are they, standing there with, running or walking past with their notepads and their money belt, and, talking on their speaker and their phone and, going to the location of a hand pay, you know, it can you is there a like a that's not a break area because you wouldn't be allowed into the break area, but is there a location, where, uh, uh, you would let's see, put that back. Okay. Good. Um, is there some place where where the slot attendants hang out in a public area? Is there a booth or, is there some place where you can watch and see how busy it is, how busy they are right now? And that's something to watch for, when the noise level isn't possible to watch for. Yeah. Um, and yes, it was a unique technical issue, which I never thought. I thought if my computer ever like blue screen of death, right, that they talk about, then the live stream's over. Sorry, I didn't say bye, but this was the most unusual thing. I came back to an active live stream. Hello, everybody. My goodness, what was that? Um, uh, it did happen again. Maybe a computer restart. Thank you for still being here. Pardon me while I kind of get caught up on connecting everything again. And Uh, yes. So I'm going to end this now, and I wish everybody a great day. I'm I'm back, and thank you for your patience with whatever is going on. Trying to my theme today, the topic today was we are doing a lot. And at the casinos, and maybe too much, and maybe I was getting my computer to do too much. And so it was spot on. Everybody have a good day. And um, if you would hang on just a second, where's that? There it is. So what a very interesting live stream. Thank you for your attention. You'll see me on my next live stream on Saturday at noon Eastern. In the meantime, watch this video on what casinos are keeping secret from you.